Two unrelated global crises are benefiting one regional power, Russia. The rise in energy prices due to the Middle East unrest is obviously benefiting Russia as an oil exporter. Furthermore, as a primary natural gas exporter to Europe, Russia stands to benefit from the souring of nuclear power in Germany and Italy due to the Fukushima nuclear power plant accident. The unrest in the Middle East is a very straightforward story for Russia. It has increased energy prices about 20%, and because of the way that Moscow taxes oil profits, most of this increase in price is going straight into the government coffers. On March 18th, the Russian government currency reserves have climbed over $500 billion for the first time in 2.5 years. Unrest in Libya is also allowing Russia to increase its natural gas exports to Italy, which is already its second largest customer in Europe. The unrest in Libya has specifically impacted the 10 billion cubic meter natural gas pipeline Green Stream, which goes under the Mediterranean from Libya to Italy. This pipeline is a vital component of Italy's natural gas imports from North Africa. Aside from giving Russia the extra income, the crisis in Libya is also changing the perceptions of North Africa as a potential alternative to Russian energy imports in Europe. Russia is looking pretty geopolitically stable as an energy exporter compared to what is going on in Libya and across of North Africa. The other global crisis that is benefiting Russia is the aftermath of the Japanese earthquake, and particularly the Fukushima nuclear accident. Aside from, again, increasing Russian revenue stream by allowing it to export more natural gas to Japan, the real benefit to Moscow of the accident is the fact that Europeans are rethinking their nuclear renaissance. 2011 was shaping up to be a very important year for nuclear power in Europe. First, a center-right government in Germany was supportive of continuing to use nuclear power as part of German electricity component. Second, there was going to be a very key vote in Italy, a referendum on whether the country should reconsider its nuclear power ban. And finally, we had announcements in Poland, Sweden, and also in the United Kingdom, where nuclear power would become part of the component of switching from fossil fuels. However, German and Italian populations have always been more skeptical of nuclear power than the rest of Europeans. And the problem now is that with the Fukushima nuclear accident, it is quite clear that Germany and Italy will not be part of a nuclear renaissance in Europe. The reason this is important is because there's no real alternative for either other than Russian natural gas. In fact, over the last 5 years, 20 out of the 23 power plants that Germany built were natural gas, which means that there's already a commitment towards natural gas within Germany. The reason for this is because natural gas is a relatively cheap source of power. It is not as cheap as coal or nuclear power, nuclear actually being the cheapest, but it is much cheaper, 3 times cheaper than wind and over 10 times cheaper than solar. Therefore, as Germany reduces the amount of energy it derives from nuclear power, because it's slated to essentially stop using 8 of its nuclear reactors for good, it will most definitely turn towards natural gas. The other thing to consider is the upcoming Nord Stream natural gas pipeline. Nord Stream is really a pipeline between Russia and Germany that has a strategic value. It goes under the Baltic Sea, and its main purpose was to avoid shipping natural gas via Ukraine and Poland to Germany, create a direct link between Moscow and Berlin, if you will. However, now its 55 billion cubic meters are looking like a very useful extra natural gas, not a replacement for natural gas shipped through Central Europe, but rather actual direct exports from Russia to Germany to fuel Germany's rising need for natural gas, which is going to start replacing the electricity generated by nuclear power. So in the short term, Russia is certainly benefiting from increased oil prices and also from temporary increases in natural gas exports to Japan and Italy due to the Libya and the Fukushima nuclear power plant disaster. However, in the long term, Russia stands to gain even more from the fact that the Fukushima nuclear power plant disaster is going to commit 2 core European countries, Germany and Italy, to a greater dependency on Russian exports.